dating in the DMV and what that's looked like for me, what my journey has been while being on a healing path. We're gonna segue into more so this channel in general and things that I know that I will touch on, talk about, whatever. It will all be like within this whole dating in the DMV while self-developing. So how I met my man, let's start there. I met my man in 2023 at a networking event. We did not know each other. We were not put in contact with each other. We just happened to have a good bit of alignment in one conversation at a networking event that we happened to both be at one evening. So that's how we met. We started as friends. We became close friends. And now here we are dating. And then obviously we went through the whole 75 hard journey together. Post 75 hard. This is an entire year-long journey. Hold on. Yes. So, I'm sorry about these, y'all. So yes, how I met him, networking event. Go to a networking event and figure out, I know in my last video about job market, I talked about networking. Go to a networking event and find your man too. While you're at it, go find you somebody that aligns with you. Anyways, so a lot of alignment in that conversation, knew that he'd be a great person to have in my life and just build off of each other, have stimulating conversation. One thing about it, there's very few people that be having stimulating conversation these days in this dating scene. I've been very understimulated by conversation with everybody that I've dated previously. But anyways, we're not gonna get into them. So I knew that we were aligned when, after getting to know each other quite well, I realized I would travel with this man. I would go out of the country with this man comfortably. And for me, travel is so important. There's so many people that I hate to travel with, family included. So when I met this man that I felt like the urge to travel with, we should go out of the country immediately. That felt amazing. I knew that we were aligned at that point. There's that. Number 2, finding a challenge and taking on that challenge together. And for us, that was 75 hard. That was the challenge that we chose, and we did that. And it brought us a lot closer. So I also knew that we were very aligned because he's an entrepreneur. I am in the beginning stages of starting my business. So having somebody who has already been through those, who can give me advice, who we can bounce ideas off each other. I can throw out a wild and crazy idea and he just kind of catches it. It's harmony. It's really harmony for real. So I'm a fan of that. Oh, protecting our peace. One thing about it, when I started talking to this man, I didn't really tell anybody. When I started dating this man, I didn't really tell anybody. In my past relationships, I was a lot more forthcoming. I have a boyfriend now, but this time I was like, let's play it cute. Let's keep it very cutesy. So I didn't keep it a secret, but I definitely kept us private. Somebody asked me, I might tell you that I'm dating somebody, whatever, but I just didn't feel the need to publicize my relationship at all because I wanted to focus on us. I wanted to focus on having I would like my relationship to stand the test of time. I would like my relationship to stand the test of challenges. I'm trying to prove something to myself that I'm not defective when it comes to romance and relationships. So this is a big deal for me to have found somebody that is so aligned and fits very well into my personal life. Maybe not my life grand scheme, but my personal life is what we need to know first, right? Because sometimes you introduce somebody so quickly to the family and then everybody got something to say, everybody's a part of your relationship, now you confide in everybody about everything, and it's like, I don't need to hear from y'all, actually. I would like to fix this with me and my man. This is between me and him. So that's kind of why I took that approach, and I love that approach. My family's just now figuring out that I'm with somebody. Sorry about that. It was just between me and mine at the time. I would say not rushing our timeline was another thing that we really were intentional about. I'm not a girly who's like, I need to be married in this many years. I need a ring in this many years. I also am not one of the girlies that feel like there are certain girlfriend roles, there are certain fiance roles, there are certain If I feel comfortable, and this is only in this relationship that I've done this, but if there's something that I feel comfortable enough with you to do, then let's do it. We don't have to be in a relationship in order for me to cook for you or in order for me to help you organize your house or anything like that. Let's do it. A project, let's do it. Just being down for whatever at any given point. Just trying. Who cares about the label? The label will come. Sometimes the label adds too much pressure, and that's what I was afraid of with this situation. I ain't trying to become boyfriend, girlfriend, all of a sudden we start fighting, hating each other, very much resentment. I want us to make sure that all of our T's were crossed, I's dotted in this scenario. And in due time, here we are, relationship, strong, locked in. So where we at? Number 1, networking event. Number 2, make sure there's some alignment, big alignment. Number 3, if you go out of the country with them, they're probably cool. Number 4, protect your peace in your relationship. Introduce who needs to be introduced. Prioritize the peace of your relationship. There are just some things that should be deal breakers. Sometimes you gotta really sit and reflect because the bar be in hell. So before dating, making sure that I had my standards in check. I knew what I wanted and didn't want. Knowing what my non-negotiables are, knowing what my deal breakers are. All of those things were very important. And my man threw some curveballs in there. Naturally, it happens, but knowing how to use duck and weave, you gotta be ready for everything. And I'm glad that I am, and still working on it to this day. In conclusion, go find your man. Go find you a good one. And make sure that your standards make sense. Some people be having certain deal breakers that don't actually make that much sense. Yes, maybe it makes sense to them. Maybe they can justify it, but personally, I'd be confused. And maybe one of these days we can get into what some of my deal breakers were and what they are and which ones have changed since being with this man, and why they've changed. I think that it's okay for your deal breakers to change. I think that it's okay for it to not be one size fits all. And that was something that I had to learn. I don't need my life to look like what I thought it was gonna look like when I was 13. Life happens. I'm happy right now. So what more could I ask for? Nothing. Recently, I've seen a lot of people talk about how you need to heal before you get into a relationship, and you need to heal before you put a bunch of baggage into your relationship or bring a bunch of baggage into your relationship and stuff like that. And I think that that's completely fair. Based on your baggage, based on your trauma, based on what you've been through, I think that it is for you to assess whether you need to be with somebody while you're fixing all of that, right? I initially did think that was me as well. However, as somebody who has been in therapy for a few years now, once I found somebody that I aligned with, I started to realize that based on how dedicated he is to his own self-development and based on how dedicated I am to my own, I would be able to heal with this man. And I would be able to stick to my path to healing with this man. And whether triggers arise, whether issues arise, whether problems or anything, I would be equipped with tools, whether that's communication, whether that's mainly communication for real, to solve whatever comes our way. And that has proven to be the case thus far. Being very honest, being very open with each other. So being very intentional, knowing what we both want, knowing what both of our goals are, setting goals for our relationship, things of that nature, what allows me to keep on my path. You know what I mean? I go to my little therapy every 2 weeks, and then that's when we check in whenever. It's aligning. That's what it's been like for me. So I can't say that I think the best way to heal is alone, because I have felt very supported and have felt very validated by being in a strong relationship that I had to make healthy. I have unhealthy traits. I be out here thinking toxically and actively having to choose health and choose love and choose respect a lot of the times. So I can study about a book, I can read a whole bunch of self-help, I can go to therapy every weekend. But if I have nobody to put that into practice with, are we learning? I don't know. Some would say you are, but I think that it has benefited me to put what I've learned into practice in real time. So that's just me. Anyways, until next time, let's learn, grow, and leap together.